Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best non-gambling small forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM, and I will say it's actually kind of impressive. Again, this is another position with a lot of good cards, at least at the top. Definitely several really elite free small forwards and best viable small forwards in my team right now. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. We'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe, and without further ado, let's hop right into it. Number 10 is definitely the weakest spot on this list. Bobby Jones. Just kind of had to find a filler. Number 10, it wasn't really anybody who jumped out at me as that guy, but Bobby Jones, I mean, he's a season 7 reward. He was the clutch online reward last season. He's 6'9", incredible defender, little limited as a shooter, 81 3 ball, needs a couple shooting badges added, and then playmaking badges also could be a little better. That's the critique about Bobby Jones. Now, super athletic, big, versatile, has a pretty solid release, although Dwight's upper isn't incredible at all. I wouldn't say. Sigs are really good. I mean, he's a good card. He's really good defensively. He's super complete badge wise, has enough size, definitely a very capable card, but I would also say he feels a little bit worse than everybody else on this list at number 10. So I had to find another guy to put 10 because there wasn't really 10 elite guys, and I feel like Bobby Jones is the guy that I filled in that spot with, but he's definitely, in my opinion, a little lower than everybody else. Number 9 is Tatum. Tatum's biggest flaw is a lack of size and a lack of sigs, because his release is awesome, his fade is awesome, his stats and badges are obviously, as an invincible card, basically perfect as well. So the critique with Tatum is that sigs aren't good. Dribble style isn't great. Escape certainly isn't great. Behind the back is not great. He does not have top tier sigs, and at 6'8", which is already undersized at the small forward position, he's the smallest card on this list. You combine those two things together, and that puts you near the bottom of the list. Now, the jumper is exceptional. The fade is exceptional. That's enough to keep him on the list for sure, but I wouldn't put him any higher than number 9. Number 8. Free Giannis Antertz, the free dark matter that came out this past Friday, is a 7-footer. That is very valuable, that level of size. Not to mention 7'4" wingspan, and still, while missing shooting badges, yes, Agent 3 blinders, Deadeye guard, up limitless, that type of stuff, no off handles for days. Still a really great defender, exceptional athlete, super fast, great dunker, great defender, and can hit an open 3. Does still have Kimbo escape as well, which is a go-to dribble move. His release is still on very quick. Normal fade is not bad. Like, he's a very usable card, and with added shooting badges, he's very complete as well. Really good card. Definitely the best of the free GOAT cards that has dropped this season, and I think he's a really nice card. And I think putting him number 8, if he had a better release, he'd be higher than that, but number 8 still feels like a pretty fair slot. Number 7, Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap is very slept on. Nobody ever talks about this card. He came out, admittedly, he was only 6'7". That's probably his biggest flaw. I say that. Is he above Giannis? Because stat and badge wise, he definitely is, right? He's got off handles for days, super good shooting badges. The 7'1" wingspan does help with the shorter height. He's still a super versatile defender and finisher, stat wise, pretty much 95 plus on everything of importance, especially with a shoe or a coach. Paul Millsap release on very quick is actually good. He's got good sigs as well. Like, I think the card, top tier sigs, solid release. Yes, he's undersized. I believe in him at number 7, though. I think the long wingspan helps. The sigs are basically perfect. Stats and badges are really good. And I think, yes, he's a little small, and yes, his release may not be unbelievably great. I don't love the Millsap upper, although I will say the Millsap base is actually pretty good. There's another card on this list with Millsap base, spoiler alert, and he's pretty high on the list. I actually don't hate the release, and I think as a whole, putting him 7 is fair. Number 6, KG. 6'11" at small forward. If he had a better release, he'd be arguably number 1, but his jumper isn't good. That's the main critique with this card. Really, in all honesty, there's basically nothing else to criticize about Kevin Garnett. He has perfect stats, perfect badges, basically not missing a single important one, and pretty much perfect size as well. I mean, 6'11", 7'2" wingspan. That gives you more size than nearly any small forward in my team, especially as a free card. And then sigs wise, also pretty close to perfect. Now, Luka's moving hezzy, not great. Prevents his same side hezzy from being elite, and also his release again is not top tier. It's just not. It's just slow. And I mean, I've used all the KG cards that have come out this year, and it's kind of been the truth on all of them. It's just the jumper is not a top tier shot, and it's the one thing that's truly a big flaw, because Luka moving hezzy, not being able to trigger the same side hezzy quite as easily is annoying, but it's not a huge deal. Whereas with KG, this is definitely, the release is just frustrating, and I think that's the one thing that holds his card back. He's still really good, still would put him 6, but I just can't honestly justify putting him higher than that, and I'd like to, because I think he's a great card, but I feel like number 6 is his fairest spot. Number 5, 6'10", Larry Nance. Again, size is valuable. Big player build on this card as well. He looks probably closer to 6'11". 7'1" wingspan, hotspots from everywhere. Hoff limitless, Hoff blow by speed booster, catch and corner specialist. Yes, the shooting and playmaking badges are a little bit limited in terms of Hoffs, but he's got good ones. He's not missing anything of importance, at least on goal. old. He's an exceptional defender, and he's super athletic as well. And also the release is good. This Gary Clark base is nice. He's actually really, really solid. He's the only card in the game with Gary Clark base, but I will say it's actually a very smooth, easy release. He is not attainable anymore. He was the Father's Day free dark matter small forward, one of those cards that was available. So if you didn't get him, it's too late now, but I really do believe Larry Nance has the size and versatility with a good release and good sigs and all that type of stuff as well to be one of the better small forwards in my team, especially among these non-gambling cards. Number 4 is Kyle Kuzma, a bold card, sorry, spark card from season 7. Very good card. He's what, 6'9", 7-foot wingspan, hotspots from everywhere, and 95 stats, basically on every single stat in the game, pretty much, which is, he's the easiest card in the game to make. I think they literally just copped out and put 95 on everything because they didn't want to put effort into his stats. That being said, 95 plays like 99, so he's basically not an invincible stats. He's basically got, I mean, every single important badge again, and then also the release on him is really good. His sigs are really, really good. Hard behind the back isn't quite as good as Jamal Murray, but it's still a good behind the back, probably the second best in the game. Trey Escape is also obviously exceptional. Kyrie dribble style, talked about those a ton. Pro 2 fade, really nice release, good upper. Like overall, Kuzma's a dog. He's really, really good. And I think a little probably overlooked at this point in the year at the small forward position, but still a top tier option. And I think putting him number 4 is very, very fair. Number 3 is the other guy with Paul Millsap base that I was referencing, Shareef Abdur Raheem. I have not done a gameplay with Shareef yet, but he is the salary cap reward for this week, or I guess this round of salary cap, which is for another about week and a half. So he's 6'9", 7-foot wingspan, hotspots from everywhere, 70 Hoff, 7 gold badges, just like every other invincible. No important badges missing. Every defensive Hoff in the game. 99 stats across the board, and then Millsap base, but a Goran Dragic upper that is absolutely cash and really helps to speed up and smooth the release out versus Millsap. He's bigger than Millsap. His sigs are basically, again, pretty close to perfect. He is a dog at the small forward position who does everything well with good size, perfect stats and badges, and a release that I actually think is super, super good. And I think putting him number 3 is very fair. I really do believe he's a very, very good card. And if you need a small forward, he's attainable right now via salary cap for free. So definitely a card worth picking up. Number 2, Tyrus Thomas has Jamal Murray behind the back, has a park base release, which I believe is, I think he's got Ben Shepherd base, if I remember correctly. With what upper does he have? Kobe upper, maybe? Ben Shepherd base, Kobe upper, I'm very quick. Yep, awesome jumper, Pro 2 fade, and awesome sigs as well, outside of, again, this Luka moving hezzy. It's the same issue that KG has, where his release, or his same side hezzy is not triggerable very effectively, and that's an issue. But everything else, sigs-wise, is perfect. He's got a legit park release, which I wouldn't say is true about anybody else in this list. As solid as some of these releases are, nobody else has a release that I think is like a park caliber top tier release. And I think that's probably the number 1 differentiator for me with Tyrus over these next few guys in the list. And so I think I can kind of overlook the not great same side hezzy with him because, again, he's so good defensively as well. He's got a good player build. 7'3" wingspan is super nice and not missing anything of importance. Even has the Hoff handles for days, which is something that the majority of cards in this list do not have, although the last couple do. But I would put Tyrus 2. I think he's the second best small forward. Not free small forward, he's buyable, but the second best non-gambling small forward in the game. But number 1, and I don't think it's that debatable, is Josh Smith. KCP base, really great jump shot. I mean, KCP base is always exceptional. Combine that with Laurie upper, which is elite, Pro 2 fade, and perfect sigs. So he's got pretty much perfect animations, but then also has pretty much perfect stats and badges. Now, he does not have Hoff handles for days. That would be a big issue if not for him having the best animations of any card on this list, in my opinion, and again, being exceptional in every area. If you have a Hoff handles for days, he's the card to put it on if you do have Josh Smith and you haven't done that. But I can't overlook the perfectness of his animations, honestly, and his size at 6'9", how solid his release is. KCB base is just incredible. And he doesn't have the same side hezzy issue that Tyrus Thomas has, so I don't know. You could change this order slightly if you wanted to, but to me, Josh Smith is probably still the best non-gambling small forward in the game, although I will say, again, it's relatively interchangeable again, so keep that in mind. This list is, at the end of the day, only my opinion. So with that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.